How? Okay.
Why Azerbaijan got chosen to hold COP29?
I mean, we know that. It was because of the rotating UN system, and then it was...
You want to talk in this? Or?
No, because this is not an opinion, it's just...
So you can talk like this already.
What do you think, what Armenian activists is doing wrong all over the world to raise their voices, to tell the international community that Azerbaijan is committing crimes?
It is...
That's for more.
We have mics.
Okay. It is not in any way up to them and their responsibility to raise awareness about this. Now it's up to each and every one of us to raise awareness and to demand justice. Not the least people who have a platform, not the least people who are, for example, climate justice activists, human rights activists all over the world, but who are now silent on this during COP. So it is not in any way up to only Armenian activists to raise awareness about it.
How can Gen Z impact on the global issues right now? How can we demand climate justice?
How can we...
Gen Z.
Yeah, I mean, in every possible way. I think we just... I mean, the power of Gen Z has been proven time and time again that once we go together, once we start to organize, there are very, very few limits to what can be achieved. For example, with the student movements, uprisings, and for example the school strike movement and similar uprisings, because I mean we also have to explain to the older generations that we are not going to let them get away with their bullshit anymore and let them get away with locking us further into this extremely destructive system, and just say that we are not going to accept that.
Thank you so much.
How to raise awareness in countries where climate change or environment isn't the #1 priority, where people are on the verge of a new war, for example, every day? How to raise awareness in countries where this is not the #1 issue?
I mean, it's obvious, and I think people who are living under repression every day understand that better than anyone, of course, that we cannot be talking about climate justice, we cannot be talking about the environment if people do not have even their basic human rights. So that's why human rights and the climate crisis and environmental issues has to go hand in hand. We need to simultaneously, as we are demanding human rights and demanding freedom and justice, we also need to raise awareness about the climate emergency and to explain how these issues are interconnected.
Do you think that animal exploitation is also part of the environmental problems? It's usually being excluded from the environment.
No, of course it is. Of course it is. Both, yeah, of course. Both when it comes to the climate and environment, the same industries, the same system that are exploiting animals, as you say, are the same ones that are destroying the nature and also exploiting humans and destabilizing the biosphere and the very living conditions we all depend on to survive. So, of course.
Maybe you already know COP17 will be in Armenia in 2026. Will you come again? Would you like to come again in Armenia?
It is
in COP17?
possible. I would love to. I would love to come back. I have had very lovely days spent here, meeting amazing people and seeing amazing nature. So I would love to come back.
In 2026, you will come for COP17.
We'll see. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, so not even. I don't know what I'm doing later today. So 2 years is a bit difficult, but I would love to come back.
That's the spirit.
Thank you.
And we have a question from journalists. Do you consider COP a truly useful event in a fight for environmental protection, or is it just a cover for corporate actions? And is COP even necessary?
Yeah. I think we have to stop pretending that conferences like the COP that currently are not leading to any even close to meaningful climate action that we need. For example, last year we saw an all-time high of greenhouse gas emissions, and 2024 is set to be the hottest year ever recorded. These COP processes are failing us. It's very, very clear to anyone who is paying any attention. And we need to stop pretending that these conferences that are being held, again, in countries with no respect for basic human rights, that these countries who get to set the agenda, that their interests are people and planet's well-being. Of course, that's bullshit, and we have to call that out. Having these conferences as greenwash platforms for politicians to pretend that they are taking action, of course, it's also greenwashing the human rights abuses that these countries are committing. So it's both greenwashing and greenwashing the climate action and greenwashing their ethnic cleansing.
Շնորհակալություն։